The day before the piano competition, my boyfriend demanded I withdraw. When I refused, he violently broke my index finger. Sibyl must win first prize in this competition. She is just one step away from being recommended for admission. I won't let anyone ruin her opportunity. A sharp pain shot through me. As my finger twisted and snapped, my brilliant future vanished with it. He locked me in a dark room for 3 days and nights. During this time, my broken finger began to rot and decay, losing all sensation. It wasn't until cheers erupted that Theo finally let me out. He looked down at me, his tone contemptuous. If it weren't for Sibyl's kindness, wanting you to attend her celebration party, I wouldn't have let you off so easily. I smiled at him and agreed. If they want me to cheer for her, I'll have to present this unforgettable gift with both hands. I think they'll like it. Ding! This novel reminds you to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner to read the complete novel. When I emerged from the dark closet, the piano competition had already ended. The laughter of Theo Foster and Sibyl Hill echoed from outside, bringing some clarity to my foggy thoughts. A moment later, I heard the sound of the lock being opened. As my vision focused, I saw 2 figures standing in the doorway, staring at me with indecipherable expressions. "What's that awful smell?" "It's disgusting," Sibyl said, covering her nose and pretending to retch. Theo furrowed his brow, his eyes filled with displeasure as he looked at me. "How did you manage to get yourself in such a state? Weren't you always boasting about being a neat freak?" "This is revolting." I lay half-sprawled on the floor, 3 days without food having left me on the verge of collapse, devoid of any remaining strength. Not to mention the storage room had no toilet or shower. For these 3 days, I could only endure the humiliation, holding it until the very last moment before I couldn't bear it any longer. Theo's impatient tone came through again. "Tonight, get yourself cleaned up. Tomorrow is Sibyl's celebration party. You're her sister, so you must attend in full dress. Don't embarrass her." Sibyl leaned into Theo's embrace, feigning concern. "Sis, how did you end up like this? It breaks my heart to see you this way. We haven't seen each other in 3 years. I was hoping to meet you at this competition, but you didn't show up. I felt so disappointed for a while, thinking my victory wasn't truly earned." She burrowed further into Theo's arms, his gaze quickly softening. "She chickened out, too afraid to compete with you. Sibyl, you're the rightful champion." I trembled all over, watching helplessly as the 2 of them left. I never imagined that when I'd see Sibyl again, I'd be in such a wretched state. My index finger, which had gone from deformed and painful at first, was now swollen into a column, oozing pus and starting to rot and stink. But I didn't even have time to suffer from my finger. The fear brought on by hunger had awakened a fierce survival instinct in me. I no longer cared about dignity or self-respect. I just wanted to live. Crawling out bit by bit, I spotted a sandwich on the table. My eyes lit up, and I lunged for it. As I wolfed it down, a sudden cry came from behind me. "Trisha, what are you doing?" "That was my leftover sandwich, how could you?" I turned around to see Theo looking at me with a complex expression. "Trisha Hill, what are you playing at now? Do you think this will make me feel sorry for you?" I ignored them, half a sandwich was far from enough. Having regained some strength, I stood up and rushed towards the kitchen. Sibyl, with a hint of fear, burrowed into Theo's embrace. "Theo, darling, what's wrong with my sister?" "I'm starting to get scared." I opened the refrigerator, trembling as I took out a bottle of drink. Just as I was about to open it, a sudden pain shot through my index finger. "Don't be afraid, I'll always protect you." Ignoring their affectionate exchange, I disregarded the pain and continued struggling with the bottle. I didn't notice Theo approach me. He reached out and forcefully slammed down on the bottle, hitting my swollen, festering finger. "Stop putting on this act in front of Sibyl. These tricks are childish." As his hand came down, my index finger swayed grotesquely, the intense pain causing me to cry out involuntarily. The already rotting skin split open completely. "What is that?" "It's disgusting." Theo turned on the tap, washing it forcefully with a look of revulsion. As I regained some sense, I looked at my finger, now completely numb and with visible bone, and let out a wail of anguish. It dawned on me belatedly that what I had cherished and valued had now left me forever. I would never be able to play the piano again. 5 days ago, Theo came home and suddenly demanded that I withdraw from the competition immediately. But by then, I had already been preparing for this grand piano competition for 3 months. The piano piece was my own original composition, with every note representing a piece of my soul. Without a second thought, I refused him. I failed to notice his gloomy, terrifying eyes as he said to me, word by word, "I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm informing you." Confused, I asked, "On what grounds?" His voice was low and self-righteous. "Sibyl is coming back. Don't you know?" Those words made my thoughts freeze for a moment. Sibyl. This name. I hadn't heard it in 3 years. She's my half-sister. My father's illegitimate daughter. 3 years ago, she caused my mother's death. To escape responsibility, she fled abroad with her mother. I dealt with my mother's funeral arrangements alone, wanting revenge, but could never find a trace of them again. My father even helped them hide, saying it was all fate and fortune. 3 years. I've hated her for 3 years. But I never imagined this name would be mentioned by my boyfriend, whom I was about to discuss marriage with. "How do you know her?" I asked. He lowered his eyes, his voice very soft. "That's not important. What's important is that you can't go to this piano competition." Gritting my teeth, I asked, "Because of Sibyl?" He nodded, staring straight at me. "This competition is very important for Sibyl. You're her sister, what's wrong with letting her have this chance?" Holding back my nausea, I questioned him. "Do you know what she did to me?" Theo sighed impatiently. "I've heard about it, but what does that have to do with Sibyl? If it wasn't for that incident, she wouldn't have been forced to leave the country. In a way, she's a victim too." His words made me tremble with anger, my heart aching. He continued, "Besides, it's been so long. You shouldn't be so petty. Sisters shouldn't hold grudges overnight. This competition is very important to her. It's about whether she can become Professor Bell's protégé. This opportunity is crucial for her. You can't throw a tantrum over this." Looking at my boyfriend of 3 years, I suddenly felt like I didn't know him at all. Before I could respond, he turned and left. I collapsed, drained of energy. That evening, he changed his Facebook cover photo to a girl's silhouette. That figure, I would never forget for the rest of my life. When my mother was killed, it was this silhouette standing in front of her body, smiling brightly. "You're so careless. Falling down the lift like that, how pitiful." She turned to look at me, her tone innocent. "Sis, you don't have a mother anymore. How sad." Now, seeing Sibyl again, she greeted me with the same dazzling smile. "Sis, what have you done to your hand?" "It's disgusting." Theo scrubbed his hands vigorously, spraying perfume several times, and glared at me fiercely. "Trisha, can't you have any shame?" I looked at him helplessly, unable to shed any more tears, and used my last breath to question. "Theo, why are you doing this to me?" 3 years ago, he appeared by my side, accompanying me through that difficult time, comforting and enlightening me, telling me not to live in past resentments. For 3 years, I truly believed he was my salvation. I gradually regained confidence, transforming all my hatred into motivation, channeling it into my music. Until 3 months ago, when this international competition arrived. Its founding mentor was the most established and authoritative musician in the country, Professor Zelda Bell. She declared, "The gold medal winner of this competition will become my last disciple, and I will impart all my lifelong knowledge to them." As soon as the news broke, it quickly attracted the attention of many musicians both at home and abroad. This was a great legacy, and all the new generation musicians were scrambling for it. The excitement spread overseas, causing a sensation abroad as well. I, too, had my heart set on this great opportunity. I put a lot of effort into this competition, and I wanted to dedicate this song to him as well. But in the end, he handed it over to Sibyl, making it her breakthrough piece. Looking at that face I once loved deeply, I suddenly felt so unfamiliar. He wouldn't even spare me a glance, turning his back as he spoke. If you hadn't insisted on opposing Sibyl, I wouldn't have had to punish you like this. After all, we've been together for 3 years. You may not have contributed much, but you've suffered. I'm not that heartless. However, when it comes to Sibyl, I won't give an inch. He walked to Sibyl's side, comforting her softly. Sibyl, you weren't scared, were you? I'm sorry you had to see that, I was careless. Let's go, you've had a long day. You should get some rest. Watching their retreating figures, I could barely breathe. 3 days ago, Theo discovered I hadn't withdrawn from the competition and questioned me with a grim face. Why didn't you listen to me? Still unwilling to believe the truth, I asked him with red eyes. Why? Why Sibyl of all people? You know I despise her the most, why? He took a deep, impatient breath. Trisha, have you been ignoring everything? I've told you these 3 years about letting go of hatred. She's your sister, do you have to fight her to the death? Can't you grow up? I snarled at him. If you want me to quit the competition, keep dreaming. I'll never give her a chance, I'll do everything in my power to defeat her. I turned to leave, not noticing his eyes turning cold. He grabbed my hand, asking me word by word. I'll give you one more chance, will you quit or not? I glared back at him defiantly. If she doesn't have the ability, don't covet what doesn't belong to her. She's only fit to be a waste. Theo's grip on me grew stronger, and I tried to shake him off. Trisha, you're really asking for it, aren't you? I've already given you a chance. He grabbed my index finger and bent it violently, with a hint of cruelty. Sibyl must win first place in this competition. She is just 1 step away from being recommended for admission. And I won't let anyone ruin her opportunity. Ignoring my cries of pain, he grabbed my hair and locked me in the storage room. Think about it. When you stop hating your sister and let go of your resentment, I'll let you out. As I heard him turn and leave, fear began to rise within me. I begged him. Please, Theo, don't do this to me. The song for this competition, I wanted to dedicate it to you. But there was no response from outside. For 3 days, I went from fear and pain to despair, waiting for death. During that time, I thought of countless ways to escape. There were only cardboard boxes in the storage room. I stacked them together, desperately trying to climb up to the ventilation duct. Halfway up, the boxes suddenly collapsed, and I fell hard onto the ground. After the dizziness subsided, a slow pain began to spread from my trapped hand. That index finger was barely hanging on. I was so terrified, afraid that without timely treatment, my finger would be ruined, and my piano career would be over. That was my lifelong pursuit. The piano was as precious to me as life itself. For 3 days, I watched helplessly as that finger swelled and festered. The survival instinct kicked in as death approached. To live, I did many, many things. Nightmarish, unspeakable things in this dark storage room. I almost abandoned all my self-respect, all my dignity, in the flickering images of my near-death experience. I remembered when I first met Theo. He was sitting in the audience, watching me play the piano with gentle eyes. I thought perhaps it had all been premeditated. Until 3 days later, when he brought Sibyl and opened the door of the storage room. As her sister, you must attend Sibyl's celebration party. We can't have others suspecting that you two don't get along. It would affect Sibyl's reputation. He issued his command from on high, while Sibyl still wore her beautiful gown, her makeup perfect, like a princess. I was in a wretched state, more miserable than a beggar. The lost future, the betrayed love, made my will waver. Finally, clarity gradually returned. Even if I die, I'll drag them to hell with me. The television was playing a replay of the competition. I could clearly hear the piece I had meticulously crafted flowing from Sibyl's hands. In a fit of rage, I overturned everything in the flat, my injured finger swaying with the movement. I dared not go to the hospital, afraid to hear the death sentence for my index finger. I could only vent my emotions violently, letting tears flow freely. Just then, Sibyl arrived. Seeing my frenzied anger, she approached me with a smile on her face. What's wrong, Trisha? Why so angry? Aren't you happy that I won the gold medal? You're my sister, my honor is yours too, you know. Looking at her smug face, I completely lost my senses and tried to lunge at her. She dodged nimbly, chuckling as she spoke. How does it feel to have dated my simp for 3 years? You seem to really love him. Why are you so eager to have what I don't want? I lost control and raised my hand. She fell dramatically, her expression and tone instantly changing to feigned fear and distress. Trisha, don't hit me, please, don't hit me. The next moment, I was yanked up by my hair. Trisha, what madness are you up to now? Haven't you learned your lesson yet? Theo's voice came from behind as he tossed me aside before carefully helping Sibyl up. Sibyl, are you all right? She waved her hand magnanimously. Don't hurt my sister. I know she hates me. If she needs to vent her anger on me, I should take it. I owe her. The concern on Theo's face was almost palpable. No, Sibyl, you don't owe anyone anything. The love and hatred of the previous generation should never have involved you too. He turned to look at me, his eyes quickly filling with disgust. Why won't you leave Sibyl alone? She's done nothing wrong. Why should she bear your hatred for no reason? She always thinks of you, even wanted to bring you to the celebration party. Is this how you repay her? Trisha, you're disgusting. Looking into Theo's eyes, filled with righteous indignation, I suddenly found it laughable. Do I need her to bring me along? Do I need that? I shouted in fury. You stole my song, my honor, dragged me into the abyss. And I'm supposed to thank you for it? Theo took a deep breath, his voice dry. You know what I hate most about you? You're petty, jealous, and can't let things go. It's just one song, one award. Sibyl has endured 3 years of hardship for you. Not only does she not owe you anything, you owe her. Understand? He lowered his eyes, as if utterly exasperated. Didn't you say you wrote this song for me? Then it's perfectly reasonable for me to give it to Sibyl. Stop being unreasonable, Trisha. Sibyl suddenly pouted, tears streaming down her face. I know sister will never forgive me, but I won't give up. Trisha, I will surely win you over. Theo held her tightly in his arms, speaking softly as if comforting a child. Don't be afraid. I'll be with you from now on. No one will bully you anymore. He helped Sibyl up and, before leaving, suddenly tossed a gift bag at me. It was like an act of charity, devoid of emotion. Sibyl insisted on buying this for you. She's always thinking of you. The celebration party is the day after tomorrow. Don't embarrass her. Trisha, this is the last chance I'm giving you. Don't disappoint me again. The clothes spilled out of the gift bag, revealing a blue mermaid dress. I remembered this dress. 2 months ago, when Theo accompanied me shopping, I fell in love with it at first sight. The size needed to be custom-made, with a production time of 45 days. I ordered the dress right then. I had been fantasizing about wearing this dress, becoming the focus of everyone's attention at the competition venue. This victory, I was determined to achieve. But I never imagined that when I saw this dress again, I would have forever lost the opportunity to compete. Tears fell onto the dress. For the past 3 years, I had poured almost all my heart into Theo. 3 years ago, we first met at the concert hall. After the performance, it was already dark, and the sudden drop in temperature caught everyone off guard. Theo suddenly appeared and draped his suit jacket over my shoulders. He said, "When you play the piano, you're like a melancholic bird yearning for freedom, always with a hint of bitterness." I smiled at him without saying anything. From then on, he never missed any of my performances. With each invitation, we grew closer. He took me skiing, surfing, and skydiving. He told me, a bird that wants to be free should first learn to fly. Under his companionship, I gradually opened up my heart. From mountains to seas, from scorching summers to harsh winters, I confided in him about my inner turmoil. I still remember that night when I cried so hard I could barely breathe. He gently patted my back and said, "Trisha, I hope you can let go of your hatred and live a good life." I lay in his arms, listening to his heartbeat, steady and slow. The most primal rhythm in the world. Beat after beat, it resonated in the depths of my heart. For a moment, I truly forgave the whole world because of him. Later, we had our own home. A small villa, which he bought outright, with both our names on the deed. I really thought he and I would spend our entire lives together. Until that day when Sibyl returned to the country. I couldn't help but marvel at how well Theo had hidden everything. For 3 years, not once did I suspect his sincerity was false, his love was false. The moment he changed, I was still questioning why. What was there to question? He told me, "When you play the piano, you look very much like her. I can't help but soften my heart towards you a little. You should thank her. The love I have for you, you stole from her." 3 days and nights in the dark storage room. I thought through our entire 3 years together, truly unable to understand why. Why was it always Sibyl? She had taken everything from me since childhood. Taken away my complete family, taken away my mother. In the end, even the love I thought was mine turned out to be because of her. I lost everything, including my beloved. Hugging that blue mermaid dress, I wailed loudly. Only when I've shed my last tear will I truly give up. Will I understand that entrusting love to others only leads to a dead end? Only in the last moment of life will I realize that if I want justice, I can only fight for it myself. I took out the scissors and slowly cut up that blue dress. It was especially difficult to operate without my index finger, but I didn't stop. After completely shredding it, I took a taxi to the hospital. The doctor said the nerve had completely died and the finger needed to be amputated. I just nodded faintly. The surgery required hospitalization that day. In the evening, Theo's call came through, but I didn't answer. Soon after, a WhatsApp message came. "Why aren't you at home? And you've cut up the dress too. Do you know I specially went to get that? What are you still upset about? Can you stop acting like a child?" Yes, I was a bit impulsive this morning, but I was just anxious. Can't you let go of one thing? Come home quickly. It's been 3 years, whether it's responsibility or emotion, I won't abandon you. Now that your hand is damaged and you can't play the piano anymore, I'll take care of you for life, as long as you behave. Messages kept coming in, and the more I read, the more ridiculous I found it. 3 years, and I had never realized that Theo was such a person who could brainwash himself so well. I suddenly realized. All these years, Theo's feelings for me were perhaps just like those for a pet. Happy when keeping me, locking me away when inconvenient. And that self-righteous sense of responsibility. There were still 2 days until the celebration party. I didn't reply to the message. Silently searching through the original score records on my phone instead. Sibyl wanted me to attend the party. No doubt to see her triumphant face in person. Of course, I was going to go. But what I hadn't anticipated was that all the modification and debugging records for every competition piece on my phone had mysteriously disappeared. As if someone had deliberately deleted them. Thinking back, I remembered that day. When Theo had taken the phone from Sibyl's hand and tossed it to me. She was clever. I began to check through the chat history. For this piece, I had sought help from several arrangers in the group. Fortunately, these records were still clearly present. I discovered that one of the teachers had sent me several messages, asking why I hadn't participated in the competition, and who the girl was that had used my song to compete. I sent him a photo of my severed finger, and her call came through almost immediately. I explained the situation to her in the most concise language possible. I had no time to waste. With a hopeful attitude, I opened the home surveillance system. No one knew about the cameras except me. There was a period when Theo was frequently away on business trips, and I felt scared living alone. So I bought several cameras from the shop and installed them in various corners of the house. I was just grateful that my fear at the time had now become irrefutable evidence to prove my innocence. After collecting all the evidence, I contacted a solicitor. Having lost everything, I had nothing left to consider. Lying in bed, I couldn't sleep at all. I couldn't tell if it was excitement in my heart or uncertainty about the future. I started thinking about my mom. From a very young age, I knew about Sibyl's existence. It was when Dad would always argue with Mom, and I would cry whenever they fought. Dad would point at me and say, "Look at this unlucky daughter you've given birth to, always crying. Not like my Sibyl, she's always smiling." I had seen Dad take Sibyl and her mom to the amusement park with my own eyes. Dad was right, she was smiling very happily. The year I turned 12, my parents divorced. Mom raised me on her own, and I was quite happy. Life went on like this, and it seemed pretty good. But when I was 15, Dad came back. Later I found out it was because Sibyl's mom had cheated again, and Dad came back out of anger. He started playing the role of a good father and husband, preparing surprises for Mom, taking me to the amusement park. He even picked me up from school and Mom from work. I truly hated him, but the fatherly love I felt during that time was also real. The more you lack something, the more you crave it. I was secretly happy, secretly content, enjoying his kindness towards me. This life continued for 2 years. Then Sibyl came to Dad crying, saying her mom had been bullied. Dad rushed off without a second thought. From then on, I started seeing Sibyl and her mom frequently. Until one day, Sibyl made up an excuse, saying Dad had an accident. Mom panicked and believed her. I was at school that day, but the next time I saw Mom, she was in the ICU. The surveillance footage showed that when Sibyl was pulling my mom, she accidentally pushed her down the lift. The word accidentally was what she said herself. She cried and defended herself, saying she had just misheard the news and acted in a moment of panic. I know she really likes my dad, I had good intentions. I didn't want she to miss seeing Dad for the last time. I really didn't mean for this to happen. The incident caused a huge stir at the time, and Sibyl was caught in the midst of public opinion. I helplessly prayed for the world to give my mom, a fair response. But the news I received was that Sibyl and her mom had left the country. What made me even more desperate was that this was arranged by my dad, who spared no expense to prevent them from being harmed. Before leaving the country, she even called me, pretending to care. "Trisha, I feel so sorry for you. Dad doesn't love you, and now your mom is dead. You'll be all alone from now on." 3 years have passed since then. Time seems to have forgotten everything, except for me. It seems no one else remembers. I met Theo, and he also advised me not to be trapped in hatred. But I just wanted justice for my mom. Until now, she has appeared again, dragging me into the abyss. This time, I absolutely will not be weak. Even if it costs me my life, I will fight for the truth for myself. The conversation captured on the home security camera was chilling. "It's just a finger. For your happiness, it's nothing." Theo's voice had a hint of pleading. Sibyl responded with a sweet tone. "Theo darling, you're the best to me. If it weren't for her, why would I have been forced to go abroad for 3 years? She even complained to you that I pushed her mother, when it was clearly her mother who was careless." Theo sighed. "I never believed her, to be honest. I was only interested in her because she resembled you a bit. This song is my compensation to you for her, for your 3 years of suffering. I know it's not enough, but in the future, I'll make her pay you back bit by bit." Another clip showed Theo breaking my finger. The scene was horrifying, with the bone-breaking sound particularly crisp. As I watched, my breathing became uncontrollably rapid. I felt such intense hatred. And now, the live feed continued. "Theo darling, didn't you say you'd make her come to my celebration party? If she doesn't come, there will be rumors. Theo, please help me. Didn't you say she loves you? As long as she's there, I won't have to do anything, and everything will be proper." Theo immediately agreed. "Don't worry, I'll find her even if I have to dig 3 feet underground. I'll make her admit her defeat with her own eyes." The next moment, Theo's call came through. I answered. His tone on the other end seemed deliberately subdued. "Trisha, don't be angry with me, all right? I promise, after the celebration party, I'll marry you. I've realized that my feelings for Sibyl were just an old obsession. Now that I've come to my senses, I know you're the best for me. This celebration party, I just want to say goodbye to her. Afterwards, we'll have a good life together. You've lost a finger, so you'll have difficulty with some tasks. But I promise I'll take care of you for life. From now on, I'll be your hands. His voice was incredibly sincere and passionate. Very similar to the sweet words he used to say to me. I had been fooled by his sugar-coated words for 3 years, believing he truly loved me. If it weren't for the security footage, would I have been deceived again? Thinking he had genuinely had a change of heart. Without hesitation, I agreed. It's a deal. As long as you marry me and leave Sibyl, I'll go. Theo's tone was particularly firm. I won't lie to you. Right after the celebration party, I'll marry you immediately. After the call ended, in the security footage, Sibyl laughed triumphantly and said coyly, "Theo darling, you said those words so convincingly. I almost believed you were really going to marry her." Theo snorted coldly. A low-quality imitation, now even disabled. Marry her? Impossible. He smiled and embraced Sibyl. Sibyl, for you, I've even resorted to using my charms. How will you repay me? Sibyl pretended to be aloof. Humph, Theo, your task isn't over yet. You must keep a close eye on her, make sure she sits there obediently. And when the time is right, you take her away. Theo nodded. Don't worry, I know what to do. She loves me so much, she'll definitely behave for the sake of marrying me. That fool really thinks she can win my love. She must be so happy now, thinking she's finally beaten you for once. Sibyl, she'll never win against you in this lifetime. At this point in the video, I was filled with fear. At the same time, the private investigator I had hired sent me detailed information about Sibyl's experiences abroad. The documents showed that after Sibyl went abroad, she successfully entered a renowned music academy there, thanks to her piano talent. However, after 2 years of study, she was expelled from the school. As I read further down, the news was even more shocking. The reason for Sibyl's expulsion was that she had an affair with a married professor at the school. Her reputation was ruined, and her future prospects were destroyed. I suddenly understood. This competition was crucial for her comeback. What shocked me even more was that the security footage unexpectedly preserved a segment of Sibyl making a phone call. Her tone was sweet and carried a hint of anxiety and nervousness. She spoke in French to the person on the other end of the line. I will definitely succeed. Don't leave me. Once I win the gold award and become her student, I'll tell you all her techniques and secrets. Then, will you divorce your wife and be with me? I didn't think any further, just quietly saved those videos. After sending the evidence of the crime to my lawyer, I lay in my hospital bed, silently waiting for the day of the celebration party. The show was about to begin. Truth and justice will never be absent. Against the doctor's advice, I insisted on leaving the hospital. I bought some clothes at a roadside shop and took a taxi to the hotel where the celebration party was being held. It was a grand and luxurious affair, with various socialites and big names from the music industry in attendance. This celebration party was also Sibyl's formal introduction as a new student. Winning the gold award in the piano competition meant direct admission as Professor Bell's personal student. That's why so many people had come to participate. Even the media had started to arrive. As soon as I got out of the car, I saw Theo dressed in a smart suit. When he saw me, he couldn't help but frown. "Why did you come dressed like this?" he said, putting gloves on my hands without explanation. "There are a lot of people here. Don't cause any misunderstandings." I let him fuss over me, but my eyes were searching for the familiar music arranger. Only after I saw him gesture to me from inside did I relax. I knew Theo would stick to me like glue today. There were some things I could only get others to help me with. Sibyl walked over with a beaming smile. "Trisha, come in quickly. We've been waiting for you for ages." Inside the luxurious hotel, it was packed with distinguished guests and bustling with activity. Just from listening, I could hear everyone praising Sibyl. They said she was young and accomplished, that she was a dark horse who had appeared out of nowhere, that her song was of a very high standard. I listened quietly, unable to stop my eyes from lowering. The celebration party started soon after. Sibyl, wearing a beautiful gown, stood on the stage and once again played the piece I had composed. I had named it Nirvana, but Sibyl had changed it to Dawn. As the piece ended, there was thunderous applause. Professor Zelda Bell looked at her with approval. This song is indeed something special, quite refreshing. Amidst the hall full of praise, one person abruptly stood up. Sibyl thought it was more praise for her and had the staff pass the microphone to him. But the man who took the microphone issued a challenge instead. Miss Sibyl, the third bar of the piece is identical to one I composed. Out of courtesy, I'd like to ask, did you create this section of the music yourself? Sibyl's smile instantly froze on her face, while Theo turned to ask me, did you plagiarize? I didn't respond, and Sibyl quickly regained her composure, taking out her phone. Here's the record of my composition process. You can take a look. The man who had questioned her took the phone, furrowed his brow, and then spoke again. This isn't right. This section of music I discussed and finalized with Trisha Hill multiple times in our group. How did it end up with you? In an instant, all eyes were on Sibyl. In her panic, she even turned her gaze to me. How could this happen? Trisha, is there some misunderstanding? Oh, I think I remember now. I asked you to help me revise that section of the melody. But you weren't confident, so you took my composition to someone else for help, right? Sibyl looked at me nervously, while Theo kept giving me meaningful looks. Don't mess this up. Just admit it, don't let Sibyl be embarrassed. As long as we get through this crisis, I'll marry you. Theo whispered these warnings in my ear. I smiled slightly at him and replied, all right. Seeing him breathe a sigh of relief, I voluntarily took the microphone. The next second, I publicly removed my glove. My mutilated hand appeared before everyone's eyes without warning. Many people gasped. Are you mad, Trisha? Why are you showing such a disgusting thing and dirtying everyone's eyes? I nodded, responding to him. Indeed, it's disgusting. If it weren't so disgusting, how could I have missed the piano competition and allowed someone else to compete with the piece I personally composed? The arranger's question was just an appetizer I had planned. The main course was about to begin. Theo was still nervously warning me. Don't you want to marry me? Don't do anything stupid. Your future still depends on me. Without me, who will support you? I gave him a cold smile. You? Why would I marry a criminal? The next second, a conversation between Theo and Sibyl suddenly started playing on the big screen. Sibyl, consider this song as her compensation to you. I promise she won't compete with you again. Theo, you're the best. The scene changed to a conversation between Theo and me. It's just one competition, just one song. What's wrong with letting Sibyl have it? You're the older one, can't you be more generous? Sibyl isn't holding a grudge, she even invited you to her celebration party. You're the only one torturing yourself with memories. Then it switched to the scene of Theo breaking my fingers. Some girls covered their eyes. I looked back to see the media's cameras pointed directly at the screen, recording all the evidence. Trisha, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up and stop this. Are you trying to ruin me, or Sibyl? How can you be so heartless? Theo pushed me to the ground, questioning me with red eyes. You did this on purpose, didn't you? You won't be satisfied until you've ruined me. I just accidentally broke your fingers. And you want to destroy my entire life, you venomous woman. He tried to attack me again but was restrained by the police who had arrived. Before the celebration party, my lawyer had already reported to the police on my behalf. With irrefutable evidence, Theo couldn't escape. Sibyl on the stage was also taken away. The footage on the screen hadn't ended yet. It now jumped to the scene of Theo threatening me to withdraw from the competition. Sibyl must win first prize in this competition. She's just one step away from guaranteed admission. I won't let anyone ruin her opportunity. Don't be so petty. You already have me. What's wrong with letting Sibyl have the future? Why are you so greedy? The next second was from the day Sibyl had come to pick a fight. How does it feel to date my simp for 3 years? You seem to really love him. Why are you so eager to have what I don't want? I had deliberately increased the volume for this line. Just as this video ended, a scene of Sibyl making a phone call in French popped up. As today's most explosive finale, this video would surely shatter many people's perceptions. I will definitely succeed. Don't leave me. Once I win the gold award and become her student, I will tell you all her techniques and secrets. Then, can you divorce and be with me? Theo, who was still struggling and shouting at me while being restrained by the police, calmed down instantly after hearing this. Afterwards, he coldly looked towards Sibyl. Sibyl shook her head frantically, defending herself. This is edited. It's AI generated. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I saw Theo's eyes gradually lower. I thought he had given up, but I didn't expect him to suddenly break free from restraint. Rush to Sibyl's side, push her to the ground, and roar with bloodshot eyes. You lied to me? You've been lying to me all along? I loved you for so many years. Back then, you said what happened to Trisha's mother was an accident. You went abroad, and I lurked by Trisha's side for 3 years waiting for you. At the most critical moment, I solved the problem for you. For you, I almost sacrificed everything. Sibyl, you've ruined my entire life. You owe me. The police quickly reacted and rushed forward to pull him away. This farce finally ended with both of them being taken away. The music arranger stood beside me, his eyes never leaving my fingers. I heard him sigh several times. How could this happen? You're so talented. I shook my head and smiled helplessly. I returned to the hospital to resume my treatment. The next day, Professor Bell came to see me. With a serious expression, she asked, "Would you be interested in becoming my student?" I hesitated for a moment, then raised my hand without speaking. She understood my gesture and continued, "Beyond the piano, you have other talents." In that competition, I awarded her the gold prize largely because of that original composition. You have a natural gift. Music doesn't reject anyone. I'd like to invite you to explore the unknown world with me. I nodded, tears welling up in my eyes. Due to the significant impact of the incident and escalating public opinion, Sibyl and Theo were soon sentenced. Sibyl got 2 weeks, while Theo received 2 years. Afterwards, I began studying under Professor Bell's guidance. Though I had lost my index finger, I unexpectedly found a whole new direction. 2 years later, my single became a hit across the country. That same day, I learned of another piece of news. After his release from prison, Theo had tracked down Sibyl and broken all of her fingers. Apparently, he'd been arrested again. I wonder how many years he'll serve this time. But those sordid affairs no longer have anything to do with me. I will rise from the ashes and become my own hero.